to show you guys how I created Charli XCX's hair color before the Grammys. The internet is calling this Brat Black, so come along with to see how I did this. First thing that's most important is when you're going darker, you need to make sure you protect the skin. So my favorite thing to use, Skin Protect. This is the best thing to use. We love it. It's on our tray at the salon. I'm gonna put a little bit around the hairline so she doesn't stain. You have to hide the evidence. No one wants to see color. If you have gray and you have to use a permanent hair color, it's fine because regardless, you're gonna have to cover those grays. So if you don't have grays, I always recommend using VIBRANCE or a demi-permanent hair color because you don't wanna have the harsh grow out, especially if you're a pop star or you love to have fun with your hair and you're always changing it, you never wanna be committed to just one color. Okay, so for my model today, she's got level 5 hair. We wanna go as close to black as possible, but we don't wanna be inky where it's blue. And that's the same vibe that I was doing on Charli. So the key is to making it really, really dark without it looking inky. Basically the goal is we almost want black, but it's like a shade off. So in my formula, I'm gonna be using matte and neutral on the roots because the roots tend to have heat, so you can get warmth from the formula naturally. And the ends, I'm just using neutral because I don't want to put an ash on the ends because it might read a little too blue or too ash. If I'm doing more of a natural vibe, normally I'll use a lighter color around the front, but because we're going for such a look and she is a pop star, we're like making the whole thing dark. So it doesn't really need to have a lighter hairline for this case. Now you guys can come with me to go mix. So I'm gonna use these two on the roots. 1-0 and 4-13. So I'm gonna be using level 1 natural and level 4 Cendre matte, equal parts. So I'm gonna use 30 grams of 1-0 and 30 grams of 4-13. VIBRANCE is 1-to-1, so I'll use equal parts gel developer in 6 volume. So because I'm using 60 grams of the VIBRANCE total, I'm gonna be using 60 grams of the 6 volume. So 120 grams total. I love the gel because it spreads so easily. It's the most fluid of the two, and it's kind of like a personal preference. I feel like all hairdressers have their thing they like. For me, I like to have control, but not too much where it's, you know, getting sticky. So this is perfect. Here's a little tip. When you're busy in the salon, I love to have everything ready to go. So I have the roots ready in this bowl with the developer, and then next I'm gonna put her ends in this bottle. So we're gonna do 3-0. I'm gonna put this in the bottle first and have it sitting without developer, but when I'm ready to put it on her ends, all I do is add the developer. Seems kind of simple, but it works. The thing about VIBRANCE that I love is that when I do use it in a bowl, it's easily spread throughout the hair, but it doesn't drip everywhere. So that's something that can be annoying at the salon. Now I have the color in the bottle. I'm gonna have this sitting at the back bar or the shampoo bowl ready to go. Whenever I'm ready to do it, I just put the developer in it. So the biggest mistake I see when someone is going darker and almost black, what they do is they literally just put one in all over the head and it just creates this kind of like muddy, witchy look. Personally, I like to do it where the roots have a different color, the ends have a different color, because actually the ends and the roots will take the color differently. So if I do put the 1-0 all over, it's gonna look different on both sections of the hair. So that's why I'll use a darker color up top and then a shade, or a half a shade in this case, lighter color on the ends, and it just all looks seamless. So I know a lot of people have questions about VIBRANCE covering gray. You can always use the 13 volume and that will blend away or cover grays. So I love this dark hair color trend that's happening right now. It's so important for when you are going darker to have that rich, shiny, vibrant VIBRANCE hair. And that's why I'm obsessed with VIBRANCE and I use it on all my clients. When I have a client that's coming in and they want a big change, I always have to consider their natural starting color. So if someone is a light blonde or even a dark blonde, I tend to veer away from going dark brown or almost black because the roots will grow in and they'll show. And it's sort of like an inverted version of having dark roots, but it's light. So sometimes they can look thin or like it's balding, but in reality, it's just because her hair is so light. So maybe I would say let's go red or let's go strawberry blonde. You know, there's always the right look or statement for each client. So it's one of those things, it's kind of a feeling and a dance you have with that person. But you know, if someone's committed to coming in every 2 weeks to dyeing their hair, their roots black, then that's fine. But you know, it's also kind of like your job as a professional to guide them in the right way. So I always lean towards close to natural, but sometimes not. Okay, so here's the thing. I might have 2 different clients that have very similar hair color, but in reality, I might use 2 different formulas on them because I really customize it to that client's hair. So just because this works on Charli doesn't mean it's gonna work on your redhead client or your blonde client. There's always steps that you have to do to make it perfect for your client. The thing that I love about working with Schwarzkopf is that there's so many options. No matter what I'm faced with, I know I have something that I can depend on. A lot of you guys might already do this, but I always have a wet towel at my station or on my tray because when you're working with such a dark color, you want to make sure nothing gets on the skin. So I'm always making sure to keep everything clean, and your client will appreciate that. We're gonna get her all cleaned up. And we're back. So this is the finished result of the Charli XCX Grammy color that I did on her. We did 1-0 and 4-13 on the roots, and on the ends we did 3-0, both with 6 volume for 20 minutes. I'm so impressed by the shine that Vibrance gives. I love Vibrance on curls. It makes the hair look so shiny and luscious. It's so good. I mean, come on, her before and now her after, I'd want this hair.